Yeah. So, hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So, let's start our session. Um, okay. So, yesterday we were discussing about Angular form validation. Okay. So, we were discussing about two types of form validation. One is template-driven form validation, and one more is uh, this one, template-driven form validation and reactive form validation. So, last class we have discussed about template-driven form validation. So, what is the difference between template and reactive form validation is in template driven form validation we will write the complete validation code inside the html file. Okay, and in reactive form validation we will do that step from ts file. It's just quite opposite to the template driven form validation. Okay, so last class we have discussed this enrollment. So this is an example of template driven form validation, and now let's start with the registration. So this is an example of uh, reactive form validation.
Hello, Naveen sir.
Huh,
One doubt I have, sir.
huh.
Sir, actually, after registering successful, I want to send like automated generated emails. Those things, how can I configure?
For email you can use the node mailer, one third party module is there, you have to use that one. Just search in google node mailer.
Okay, okay, I'll search
Yeah,
it.
okay, fine.
And sir, one more doubt I have, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose I want to display the color of navbar different components. Like if I want, like I want secondary color in sorry enrollment type. So how can I configure that thing?
Sorry, enrollment one color navbar, registration one color navbar.
Yes, I want to configure these things as well.
Okay, then do one thing. Keep that navbar also inside the source code of component.
Oh, this is only the way. Okay.
Ha.
Okay, okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So
And
now
sir,
let's.
one more doubt, sir. One more
Hmm,
doubt.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
Sir, someone like entered any emails like Ritansu Kumar Singh at @gmail.com, but this email does not exist. Okay,
hmm.
but only this the form of this email is correct. But I want to check whether this email is exist or not. Okay.
Email exists in database, huh?
No, no, not in database. In real
Uh,
time, like whether this email is exist in Google server or not, like
nah,
that thing.
then you have to check with Google API. You have to connect to Google API, and in that
Okay.
you have to check that email.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Fine. Okay, regarding profile management application, there's a lot of discussion is going on in the group. Fine. Don't worry, for this batch, we'll discuss profile management application. Okay, so don't worry, we'll discuss that as well. Actually, the recent batches it is added. Previous batch it was not there, so they were comparing with that one. Okay, so this batch profile management application will be there. Okay, so don't worry, you can note down. It's our at form validation video you have told. Yeah, you can note down. Date is today, 28/10. Okay, you can make it. Fine. Yeah, forget about it. Yeah, so today we are going to discuss about the registration. Almost same kind of fields here. No change at all. See, just only one this one getting changed. Yep. So let's see how to perform validation using this one. What is that one? It is there here. Yeah, reactive form validation, how to perform. So we'll see for register. Okay, so how you perform a reactive form validation is, one second, before that I do a small change in the nav bar. I need this nav bar to be enrollment is there na? You may confuse in future, so I'll write template driven form validation. Okay, so this is gonna be reactive form validation, or RCFV. Okay, so you understand more clearly what is that for. Okay, so template driven, it is reactive form validation. Okay, fine. So see here in enrollment, how did you bind data to the, I mean, how you perform two-way data binding between the HTML file and the TS file is we have used the forms module and using ng model directive we have configured. But when you do reactive form validation, so this data binding is a something different data binding concept because still now we use only forms module forms module with ng model data binding concept. Okay, but in reactive form validation we have something different approach. What is that is instead of forms module we have another module that's called reactive forms module. Okay, using this without ng model. See, till now we only know that ng model is useful for to make two-way data binding between this form and back to the ts file, but now without even using ng model we can make data binding from ts file to the html. So how it is using this one. Okay, so in order to start with reactive form validation, you need to import this module to the app module and start using that features. Okay, sir, how it is? It's very simple. The very first step is go to um, yeah, go to app module. Where is that? Okay, go to app module. Just import reactive forms module from Angular Forms. I think this also from Angular Forms. Both are from Angular Forms. Forms module, reactive forms module. So now we're going to use this one for reactive form validation. Copy this and add to the imports array. Anywhere you just add it. Okay, both are there. Fine. So this is the first step, reactive forms module. And after that, let me open this registration form. Where is that? Register HTML and the TS file. Yeah. So previously what we used to do, we need to take one object here and we'll bind it here using ng model, right? Here. Instead, we have something different way. What is that is, we will represent the whole form with uh, a special class called form builder. We can represent the whole form with a special class called form builder, and using this we will build the individual input element and we'll bind it. I show you how it is. Let me declare the dependency on the form builder because we want to use this particular uh, class inside my component. So let's declare the dependency. So private, let's say form builder of type form builder. This is from Angular Forms. Yeah, form builder. So using the form builder, you can build a form. So what was that form is you can write something like this. Let's uh, one second. You can write anywhere. I'm right before or after anywhere. Just make okay somewhere here. Let's um, registration form is equal to this dot form builder dot group. This is the function. Okay. So in this, I think it's not let keyword because the class. So let's take public. Okay, fine. So registration form is equal to form builder dot group an object. So inside, uh, so this represents your form, your this form. So inside I have multiple input fields like username, email, password, and codes. So you can declare them here. For example, if you want to represent the username, you can say username with an empty array with empty data. Okay, we just take a value as an array with empty because this itself represents your form. This is your input field. This is the data belongs to your form. Okay, but first time when you load the form, then this contains all are just empty data, right? There is no data has been stored inside. Okay, when load the registration form, it is just empty. So to represent that empty form, we have taken a empty string inside. So just like that, username, email, that is also just empty, and password is also empty, and also course is also empty. So I have taken a form with the four fields which I have represented on the screen. Fine. Now this particular form with all these fields, I want to bind to this form. Generally how to bind is ng model, but this is not that one. So it's something different. So how to bind this form with the HTML is different. So what is that is just take the variable name. So because this is the name which represents your form. Okay, just take the variable name, go to HTML, wherever the form is there, just say a property binding, that is form group, I hope, yeah, form group is registration form. Okay, so this is we have binded, and even for every input element, we use something called form group, not form group, form control name is equal to username. Sir, what exactly this username is? This username. Okay, and which element, I mean which particular property is attached to that, have a connection. Okay, so this field represents the username, so you have to give a same name there. And then let's copy this, and this is for email field, and for this one it is the password field, and this is one for um, codes field. Okay, so we have username, email, password, and codes. That's fine. So now everything has been binded properly. If you want to see that really how it is binded, let's do one thing. Let's print somewhere above the card. You can make a pre-tag expression, uh, registration form. Just print it. Check it out. Yeah, you get an object. Let's make it in a JSON format. Not there. Oh, I think registration form dot value, something will be there. Okay, registration form dot value. So which keep hold of all the its properties data. And so when I'm typing here, see username is updating, email is updating, password is updating, and course. If I select Ionic, updated. If I select Angular, Angular, updated. So see here, we have not binded the data using ng model. There is nothing called ng model here, but still data binding. One second. Yeah, but still data binding is happening. Okay, this is another way, reactive forms module. So simple. You have to take a registration form with a form builder. So inside you represent the each input field with empty data, because as usual every form will contain empty data, and this we have to bind it here. How you bind the form is for the form with the form group property binding, and every form control, this is actually called form control. Okay, so how to configure the control is like this: username, email, the same names you have to give what you mention here, and same thing you have to mention here. That's it. You get the form control, form dot value, you get the data. Fine. So we confirm that data has been binded. Okay. So next, I don't want this now because I already confirm data is binded. So next thing is I wanted to apply the form validation rules form validation rules for my username and all. So, okay, so how you apply the form validation rule? Tell me previously, in the previous example, how you apply the validation rule. You have applied the validation rule like here required and some pattern required, and pattern is equal to something we have applied because we write the form validation rule inside a template cell. But now this is not going to required. We're going to apply the form validation rule in the TS file itself because this represents your username field. So for this, you want to apply any validation rule, you will write inside here only. Sir, where it is? Simple. This is the initial value, comma. You take another array. You take another array, and this array contains the validation rules. So first, let me apply the required required validation. So how we apply the required validation on the username is there is a class called validators Angular forms dot required. Okay, so validators is a class from Angular forms. Okay, so using that inside there are some predefined validation rules available like required email min length like that. So validators dot required. So I have applied the required validation, the required key validation on username. Okay, fine. So now based on this required key validation, I have to check this is, uh, I mean, I have to check the validation of this username based on this validator. So how to check is, um, you can do one thing. You can actually make one, okay, you can write something called one small tag, okay, expression, username, not username. I think it's like this. Previously, we used to bind the name with ng model, and that name we use. But here is not like that. We have to use the form name. So registration form dot get of username. Okay. So let's check how it is. What happened? Okay. It's an object. Okay. Let's take JSON. Come on. No data. I think it's not that way. Okay, that object is represents the, I mean, this registration form dot get of username is then this represents the whole input element. In the form I'm getting the username field. So dot I'll take valid or invalid kind of. Let's take valid. Okay, so this way we'll see registration form dot get of username. So this represents this entire field. Okay, dot valid or not. So now check. You can't see that value. Oh, somewhere registration. Yeah, you can see the value as false because I'm checking is it valid or not. It says by default is false, invalid. Why invalid? Because we have applied the validation rule called required. If you don't apply any validation on rule, then then this is true. Okay, because you have not applied any validation. So what if you enter or not? It by default is valid, true. Okay, if I apply the required key validation, then it's by default is false because you have not typed anything. If I type one character, at least it's become true. If I don't type, it's false. If I type, it's true. So your required key validation is working properly. Okay, that way. Um, you can also check remaining all the fields like touched, same properties like the previous one. So touched, untouched, those things you can check. So touched, you can check. It is false because first time loaded refresh is false, not touched. If I keep a cursor here, I pass the cursor, it is true. Now this field has touched. Okay, and just say uh, dirty if it is changed or not. Okay, so first time This will be false, not changed. If I pass the cursor, still false because it's not changed. If I'm changed something, it's become true that way. Okay, so this is working, but I want to apply because uh, true and false, people cannot understand what is this value for. We want to highlight this field. uh, if it is failed, some color. If it is success, some color. Okay, and here remember, in enrollment, to highlight the fields, we have used some classes dynamically, right? In registration form also, you do the same story because front end, anything you want to highlight, you have to do the same thing even for registration. Only the difference is how you represent the form with the validators. Okay, but how you highlight the field is common for every. This can be registration form or it can be template driven form. Color highlights is common. Okay, so let me grab the color highlights from the previous example of username part. Go to HTML. So what we have done is here. So class name, copy this, go to registration HTML. I'll paste it here somewhere. Here I'll do. Okay, here not username because this is not the one. How to get the username is registration form dot get of username. This way you have to do. And here also registration form get username, registration form get username, registration form get username. But if you do this way, yeah, let's check once. Let's check once. If I pass it, yes, you get the color highlights. If I type something, it's green color. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, validation part is working. Color highlights also working. But problem is if you write this much, this is not properly readable. Okay, if you want to simplify this step, you can actually do this function call from your TS file itself. What is that is, I can create a separate functions, public get, um, okay, get username. I'll take get username. So return this dot registration form dot get of username. Like the same thing what you are doing in the HTML, get of username with form, that I'm doing here. So this is giving you back this result. So I can just call this particular method from my HTML. So I can just call get username method. Okay, so this returns the registration form dot username. So I can just make here get username, here also replace with get username, here also get username, and here also get username. Okay, fine. So get username dot touched, get username dot invalid, like that. Okay, check it out. Okay, I have applied just required key validation. Later we'll apply multiple validations. Okay, and also I want to display the message below. Okay, how I get it is go here. Yeah, the same division. This one copy. Go to HTML below the division. I think below the input field. Input field form group. Input field. Yeah, here in place of this one, you have to use the function get username, get username, get username, get username. Okay, remaining and all same to same. So highlight is same, common for both reactive and template driven form validation. Okay, so now check. If I type enter a proper username, if I enter one character because I only apply the required key validation, so looks good, proper. Fine. So the same story I want to apply for all the fields. Later we'll see customized validation. Okay. So email also I want to apply, password also I want to apply. So what you do is here, here, this one username I have applied the required key validation. Same way for email validators dot required. Anything email is there, email. So we don't need to write any special pattern or something. By default email validation is there. Okay. Next, for password, I write another thing. Validators dot min length of 5 characters, like this. So minimum 5 characters length you have to type for the password. So I'm just showing the what type of validators will be there. I'm applying different type of validations here. Okay, so I say here validators dot required. It must be required and email. Okay, here also validators dot required and also length. Course only required validation will be there. Validators dot required, that way. So I have applied the validation rules on each field. So based on that, I want to highlight the fields as well. Before that, I want to write a separate function for every input field, because just like this, because I don't want to write this much bigger name over there. So I can write public get email. So return this dot registration form dot get of email. Okay, and same way get password, this is password, and get codes, this is codes. Okay, I have a different functions and validation rules. You can make that now here. Let's copy the class names, go for email, paste it. So this is get email, so make it for all, and also the division, copy somewhere after this. So this is get email, enter a proper email. Okay, and next I'll copy this here. So get password, copy this. Okay, and yeah, highlights. Select a codes. Okay, fine. So now check back here. Same validation has applied here. Okay, if I'm typing my name, it looks good. Email Naveen at gmail.com, proper, some password. Okay, and course you select something. It's green. We don't select, it is red. Okay, it's fine. And then when I click on register, it's supposed to what? When I click on register, it's supposed to register successful with the backend and display the nice alert messages here. That's that same story we have to follow with enrollment. What we have done in enrollment, same story we have to do here. Okay.
Can't we add some kind of pattern in pattern matching in
Yes,
password?
yes, we can do that. Okay, see here, good question. See here, only one character if you type looks good, but I want to apply the same kind of validation just like here. Here I enter one character is not valid. You have to enter minimum 3 characters and underscore allowed 1 to 3 are all. Special characters not allowed. So this way you want to make it. You can apply a customized validation rule. Okay. So how to apply the customized validation is, yeah, I show you. This one required email min length. These are all predefined. If you want to use custom validation rules, yeah, I tell you how to do that is. In enrollment, I create a separate folder, not in enrollment. In registration, this is registration. I create a separate folder for validators. Okay, in this I create only specific for username. I want to create some validation. So I create a new TypeScript username validator. Okay, so here I say export class username validator. Inside you can create a function. What is that function is, let's say something called regular. Okay, let's take a static function, regular expression validator, some function. Okay, so this will evaluate some logic. Okay, so it will take the field name that is called control of type abstract control. This returns validation errors, or let's say any. Okay, so this will evaluate. So here I will evaluate with the same pattern. So let's regular expression is equal to, let me grab it from enrollment. So what is the regular expression we have applied for email, name is this one. So I will take the same, copy, go here, expression how to write is / this one. So regular expression, you never write quotes or something. You will write two forward slashes. Inside you write a pattern. Okay, this is your regular expression. So how to test it is, if regular expression dot test my control dot value. What is that control dot value means? The input field value. Okay, to which element, which input field, actually see here, not there, here. For which input field you are going to apply the validation, that particular input field value I'm checking, control dot value. Okay, I'm testing. So if it is successful, this will return, this logic will return validation errors. Okay, so if this is successful, then no validation, no violation or something. If not successful, you will throw the error kind of. Okay, so just say return null. Okay, if it is tested successfully, then null. Otherwise, return something which contains um, yeah, I'll take this regular expression validator true. So this particular validation got failed. This name got failed that way. Okay, so this is how you will write it. Okay, so you have a class name and you have a function, and we have all this. So I want to apply this pattern validation for my input field. So where you add this is this class name dot this method. I write here comma uh, username validator dot regular expression validator. Okay, so we just like required an email, I have applied my own validator dot regular expression validator that will take care about the control and all. Okay, so uh, now we have to check, is it violating this regular expression validator or not. Let's see. So what is, as for this rule, minimum 3 characters and these things are allowed, special characters not allowed, just like enrollment. So check it out. So previously what happened, if you enter one character, it is success. Now I enter one character, not success, because extra that validator also there. I say A, B, C. Now success because minimum 3 characters. I can also give underscore, I can also give 1 2 3 happy. But if I give some special characters, not allowed. Like that. Okay, but if you want to display the message as per the validation rule, also you can do it. If you want to display, see, it just says enter proper username, right? It's not saying that enter, don't enter special characters, kind of. If you want to differentiate this particular message also based on a validation rule, you can do it. It means if it is required validation fails, one message. If regular expression validation fails, one message. If you want to do that, you can differentiate that thing on your HTML. For example, here, yeah, if it is touched and invalid, not there. Here, here, touched and invalid, you get this, right? But inside, you can also differentiate this one. So what I do is I take another division in this. So star ng if get username dot errors means which contains all the errors information. Okay, if you want to see that, let me show you the data and then we'll write a logic. Let me cut it. I will expression just display it. Okay, so let's see how it is. Object, let's see, JSON format. See here, required validation true, regular expression validator. This is our own validator, right? See, if you can see that on my registration, I have applied what? Regular expression validator. So if you go inside, if it is failed, what is coming back? Returns an object, regular expression validator is true. So that's what is coming here. Okay. So required is failed. This also failed here. So if that is the case, if I say at least one character, required has gone, only this is failed. So based on this condition, I can write a logic. How it is in here. I can write a, okay, 1 second. Cut it. So star ng if it is having the list of errors, then display something. What is that something? A small tag. Enter. Okay, let's say like this. Required a username. Like this you do. One more is something called no special characters. Or let's say like this. Enter a proper username, like this. So when this to display, when this to display. So star ngf get username dot errors dot required. If required validation failed, then display this one. Okay. Next, if the uh, if what is failed, this is my, yeah, this one. If this is failed errors, you get this one. Okay, let's check, is that really working or not? Check it out. Yeah, if I don't enter, both are coming up. Something wrong. I think it is errors is the function, right? No, I think errors start. What was coming errors previously? Errors is an object, right? Num dot errors dot required something. Uh, wait. I'll write expression back again. Get username dot errors of type JSON. So what was coming? Object. What man? It's supposed to get data, na? it is not the way. Hmm. Yeah, it's coming required true regular expression validator. Correct now. It is an object which contains required regular expression validator. Errors dot object rights dot required value true dot this one. I think it's correct only. Then what's the problem? And you can also give a nice color class name. So text danger. Here also text danger reddish color. Oh, actually, thing is, if it is having errors, actually you don't need to check this condition here. You can check that condition here only because yeah, invalid and get username dot errors. Okay, fine. I think now it will work. Let's check it out. Yeah, all are coming.
What is the requirement of get username dot errors? Remove that. We are checking in small tag, na?
Where?
We are checking the condition in small tag.
Hmm.
So remove the and condition from yes, remove it. Now check.
Okay. Both are
Mhm.
coming. If this not required, then only this has to display. Okay. Um. Actually, first time when you load it, right, both fails, no, because object showed both the value. That's why both has been displayed. If you make only one, no special character. That's fine. If you don't, both two things are there, na? In the object, two variables are there. So both the values are there. So both are displaying. Okay. But I want only one. If it is required, mm, okay, do one thing. Um, something we have to fix it. Required fails this one. Execution fails this one. But either one should be there. Um, I can write not this one. That looks little confusing. Uh, do one thing. I can, if I don't, because in regular expression validator itself, we write minimum 3 characters, maximum 16 characters. That is fine, but I want username special character. One second, previous batch, how I did uh, morning batch. Fundamentals from validator, SRC app, components, registration, and HTML. Okay, I only apply invalid username, just no special characters I apply. Okay. But required also there, it is also there. Do one thing. Okay, both will display, so we can't do anything there. So we can just make some BR tag. This for the line break. So here both will display. If you don't want to display both together, you can just remove one, because in regular expression validator itself we are checking minimum 3 characters length. So minimum 3 characters means at least one character to be entered. So that case required is not, it should not be there, because inside only we are checking the required also, right? Because minimum 3 characters means required also there. So we'll keep everything inside one. So if that is the case, we can remove this guy. Um, let's say something called let's say invalid username. Yeah, I'll just find a fix for this, but till now we'll make it like this. Okay, invalid username. If I type 3 characters, it's working. Underscore working, 1 2 3 4 working. Special characters not allowed. Okay, fine. This way you do. Okay. So next, when I click on register, I want to send data to server and get the data back and display here. So how will you do that? Same like enrollment, how you have done, same story here. So here for registration form, I'll say submit event. So submit register. Okay, let's copy, go to here. Okay, submit registration. What I do is I have to check the values of it. Okay, if all are not empty, then you can do it. Or else you can make an object and okay, I'll do one thing. Let user is equal to an object. In that, I need username because this is what I exactly object I want to send to server. So get username dot value. Get username is actually a field. Dot value is the value of the field. So email, I'm writing exactly the same names as the server side configuration. So this dot get email dot value comma email and password. So this dot get password dot value and course also this dot get course dot value. So I got all the values. So I have to check the condition because same like enrollment, without entering anything, you click on register, you get the alert for fill in the fields. So that way. So I'll check if user dot username is not empty and user dot email is not empty. 1 second.
Naveen, your screen is not visible.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, got it.
Actually, yeah, there's no power. Okay, fine. I think now it's fine. Okay. Yeah, I connect to mobile data. Okay, so username, email, and you have to check all this, right? User dot password is not is equal to empty and user dot codes is not is equal to empty. Okay, if all are not empty, I'll go to submit the form data. Otherwise, I will make empty fields like that. So this say same variables as enrollment. Let me grab from enrollment. What was that? Yeah, these three required. Copy. Go to registration. Paste it. So is empty to check the form is empty. Message is to hold the server side success message, and is submitted is a flag submit or not. Okay. So enrollment, how did we do? Same story here. So let me declare the dependency. I think actually constructor should not mix their variables first, constructor next. Yeah, so let's declare dependency. So private user service of type capital user service. Okay, so using this, we're gonna submit data. So I'll make here, same logic, right? So I can grab the logic from here, submit. Yeah, same story. This dot is empty copy, make it here, and also this dot user. No, just user, my local user. Okay, and here, this is the one copy. Send it to here. That's fine, but thing is, it's not. It is register enrollment. See, actually, last class we did a blunder mistake. It's not register, it is enroll. That's why we are getting last time registration successful as a message, right? It should be enrollment successful as a message. Okay, okay, we'll test it. It must be enrollment success because it has to call enroll and it has to call enroll function and this has to call the backend. Actually, I call this one for enrollment. Okay, yeah, I have fixed it now. I'll change this code. In enrollment, it is enroll. Register is register. I thought of changing. I suddenly I saw it's register only. Okay, you had done. You have to do changes here. Enroll. Okay, so this way and along with this particular variables, I want to display the confirmation message on the screen as well, just like enrollment, and then grab those things as well. Yeah, alert message and success alert. These two copy and yeah, this also we have to make. Go to registration somewhere above the card. Let's paste it. And for the card, if it is not submitted, then display the card. Same usual like enrollment. Fine. Anything else we have to do? I think that's it. Let's check the terminal, the server side terminal. Yep. So let's check now. Let's start with enroll, okay? Because I had to get the enrollment successful here. So you get these errors, but before that, 1 second. If I just click on enroll, I get please fill in the fields. Okay. If I don't enter, I get these things. So Naveen at gmail.com and password something Naveen123 Angular and click on enroll. Yes, enrollment is successful. This way and registration. You can also check the console log of server we receive the data. That's fine. And go to registration. See here. I will just do a submit. Wait. I'll just go here just without entering anything. Just click on register. You get please fill in the field just like the previous one. And if you don't type anything, you get this. And I say something called Rajan. So Rajan at gmail.com. Password Rajan123. Codes something called Angular or what React.js. Click on register. So you get registration success. Go check your server. Everything at success. So this way you can actually perform uh, form validations in Angular. But remember, template driven form validation, we can do it for simple forms, and registration form validation we can do for complex forms because here we have a flexibility to write our own validation. See, we can write our own validation, whatever the validation, not only just regular expression, you can get the control value, and for that whatever you want to do it, like length, substring, whatever the thing you want to do, you can make those names of it, and that thing you can configure directly in the in the TS file where it is here. You can just configure your own name. Okay, so you have a full control of the form. But in template driven, problem is just only pattern, only regular expression you can type it. But mostly regular expression is enough to validate any form. Okay, but individual thing you want to do, you can do that way. Okay, so remember always simple form, enrollment, complex form, register.
What are
Okay,
complex forms?
complex form means any complex validation. For example, um, if you
Like Gmail
for
and all.
sorry,
Like Gmail and all. Gmail
ha
kind of
ha
thing.
ha. Actually, as I said, see here also pattern is there. Here also pattern is there. Mostly we use pattern only. But what Angular says is this is for simple and this is for complex. The complex is more input fields are there. Okay, and if you want to follow a particular pattern for that, so you can go with this. It's very handy to check the validation rules instead of this pattern. So except a pattern you want to try something, you can go with this. If pattern is common, then you can go for any one. Both are used for pattern. Okay, so this is about Angular form validation, and so next concept is authentication. Okay, so now we're going to discuss a concept called authentication. So in authentication, we're going to apply some authentication rules and all. Okay, authentication and authorization. Okay, so this will continue after 5 minutes. Okay, here we're going to discuss the events booking application. Now it's time to understand the events booking application. So after 5 minutes, just take 5 minutes break because it's a complete new concept again. So take 5 minutes break. Exactly 7:05 we'll start the class. Okay. So yeah, I'm just stopping it.